Well, good morning, guys. This will be the final video on the Dodge Ram project. I promise. It's just gotta be. I've got to get it out of here. Things look a little odd. Why do I still have the cab in here? I did not like the outcome, especially the clear coat on the front fenders. So I just sanded them down and we're just gonna redo them. The base coat on the driftwood, and then we will re-clear them. But that's okay. This thing is big enough. I was able to get the bed in the corner, the tailgate, the hood on the back of the chassis. I've got the filler cap hanging there. We will get the driftwood on. I'm just going to leave the cab in here when we do the green. Everything should be covered. And then we will go to clear on everything once again. Right now I am going over everything with Sprayway, get all the little fingerprints off. Then I will go back with the wax and grease remover, prep everything, and then I guess we start spraying base coat again. Let's do it.
John separated himself from the world and his former friends. He is now pursuing God and Christian relationships. His focus is on finding God, knowing more, and usage. We have this we can turn unbelievers.
Everybody said, fool, fool, nothing you can do, never gonna see her with the likes of you. I say, watch and see. No, but Gina Riley's gonna marry me. Sorry, Norma Jean, I've spoken for her. Silly girl. Well, it has been a solid 2 hours of masking and taping. I tell you, if you need one of these two-tone jobs, it takes some labor. But anyway, we are ready for it. It's now a little past 9:30. I am going to take a little break, just get something to drink, you know, calm the nerves. Does water do that? Anyway, and then we will mix up our emerald green and start spraying. Exciting times. we are gonna see how far we get this week on this Dodge Ram project. See if we can get it basically back together is what I need to do. We had quite an eventful night last night. About, goodness, how many years ago? 18? I don't know. Whatever '07 is from now. 2007. A EF5 tornado took out town. 5/4, 2007. And here it is almost exactly so many years later, and it about happened last night again. The first one in '07 went to the northeast of our house, or the east of our house, and that happened again. But it just barely squeaked around. Of course, it was already after nightfall like last time, and so storm chasers can only see what the tornado's doing, you know, in between flashes of lightning and flashes of taking out power lines, right? So we were hunkered down in the basement with the family, you know, in between me going outside like an idiot and taking a look at the sky and whatnot and taking pictures. But you know, typical dad stuff. You got to check it out, right? Either not or get sucked away like Helen Hunt's dad, or was that her? Anyway. Yeah, so anyway, it looks like it just barely squeaked by around town, went in between two towns, and they say it was another large wedge-shaped tornado. But anyway, we were out of power all night, and I think things look okay here, so we are going to get to work. Well, overall, and all things considered, I think it was Babylon Bee that said, following President Trump's ban on federal funding to NPR and PBS, now only some things will be considered. But nevertheless, all things considered, overall things look pretty good. I'm going to start unmasking everything and pulling things out of here. There are spots that I need to touch up with some fine sandpaper and buff it out. So I'm going to get busy doing that. That's not too exciting. And then we got to start putting her back together. Let's go. It's kind of funny because under that north wall there where it's slanted under the low ceiling, when the fan is on, I can feel air being pulled through those light fixtures. So there's no way it is doing 100% job filtering out air. But I'm so thankful and blessed to have this place to use. So it is like did I say this already? I don't know. It's Friday. Yes, that's what it is. It is Friday, which gives us 2 days to not have to touch it, not have to think about it, not have to look at it. And we'll come back Monday morning. We will pull everything out. We will start doing a little bit of light sanding and buffing and get it to look like the door over there, right? So excited for that, excited to get it back together, excited for it to go home. The owner is beyond excited to get it back, financially, and to have his ride back again, right? So yeah, it's always good to get a project done, and I'm so thankful and happy to help this guy. He's a good friend, and I hope he likes it when it's done. So we will see you Monday. Doesn't really matter because we've done an entire repaint on the thing, but I had all of this masked off and the whole back, and I just wanted to, in the sunlight, look at the color. You know, I'd say they did a dead ringer of a job there. Looks good to me anyway. Well, the guy's getting a little anxious and antsy to do some wrenching on this project, you know, as well. Kind of getting tired of just constant body work, I suppose. So I'm going to do some of that as well. I don't think this is long enough. Great. I can use it there. It mentioned it in the first video when I took this thing apart that this weather stripping on the drip rails is really the only stuff I thought I would have to replace. And yeah, you were about centered. And that's pretty much all I've invested in, you know. So we're going to get the track back in place here. Tried turning off these north lights, maybe that helps. As clean as I can, to just get some silicone spray in here. Was pretty successful on that. All right. And these come from LMC. Right and the left. Gotta get it started down here at the bottom. You are in my way, son. Go down there. Try that again. my bride stopped by, as she often does in the morning, on her way to her dad's business there, and she helped me put the hood on. She's even more camera shy than I am, so you know, it is what it is. Doesn't matter. You know the hood's on, right? I wasn't quite done polishing it out, buffing it out. I need to get to town, and I want to get a Velcro backed DA sander with some fine grit, and I really want to use that on this time around instead of just doing everything by hand. I'm just not 100% happy with the results I'm getting when I buff it out. So I'm going to wait for that, but I've got to keep making progress here. So I want to get our hood on, may even get our grill on, and then this is a nice sturdy platform for me to be doing a little fine wet sanding and buffing. So a little more of a mess on the vehicle, but no big deal. You may also remember that the left side had quite a big gap above the fender there. Yeah, we're about twice as wide here, so, and I can tell on the hinges that one is set lower down. So I should just have to pop these loose and move that thing down, and we should be okay. Try that one there. Getting much better. I think I could go a little farther. Well, this is about all the adjustment that the thing has in it, and honestly, I think we're looking pretty good. So we're just gonna nail her down there and walk away. So this is the original grill, and he bought a brand new Mopar replacement. All of at least the 4 tabs on the ends, completely broken off, and so there was looks like 1/4-inch hardware with washers and nuts to hold everything together there. Unfortunately, the replacement did not come with any hardware, which no big deal. I will have to go probably take one of these clips. I'm sure they're metric. I could probably force it to work with something standard. Not that I even have standard here at the moment. I ordered a bolt kit selection. That actually should be here today, but nevertheless, I would rather just put what's supposed to be on here. So, all the nuts around on the top I have from the original. I do not have these. I will get those. However, looking at this, it's kind of disappointing. We got a big old gouge here. Okay, not big, but the chrome is messed up there, and a little nick right on top there. So I don't know how long ago he bought this. I'm sure they would not be interested in exchanging it at this point. I don't know. I can have that conversation with him. I am certainly going to tell him about it and see where to go next. But anyway, I've got to get the hardware regardless.
That thing is coming. Hallelujah. Remember the 4 left.
Anyone want a free clip assortment? Come and get it! Well, okay. A lot of my rubber products, I have a big old tote full of dishwasher soap, you know, otherwise known as dish soap. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, I've had it soaking in that for, well, really all the morning, and then I went out there and scrubbed everything with a brush, and because like I said when I took it apart, I mean, look at this stuff. It is soft, it's flexible, it's beautiful. So we're just reusing it. Anything left that looks a little dirty, I'm gonna come back and hit it, maybe with some Armor All or something, you know, some interior cleaner, something, you know, just don't want to make a mess, but want it to look nice, want it to look new for a guy. So we will get that taken care of. I'm not adding any adhesive because still on the back side of the pinch weld, there's just gobs of that original adhesive and it is sticky. I don't think I got a little on me there. It'll stay with you. So I have no doubt that this thing is gonna re-stick once back on here. So. I have another piece that goes around on the door, a couple pieces actually, and but yeah, like I showed you, we got that new. I need to stick this end down. I was going to wait till I had the door on to see. I don't think the other one was like this with this little flap here, so I wanted to see once I had the door on what that was all about. But anyway. Yep, it smeared me. Yeah, hitting it with some Armor All, and it's cleaning up really nice, so that'll be fine. If some of you are questioning my choice here on reusing this old stuff, I did talk to the owner, as I said I would, and he said there were no noticeable wind leaks. You know, come on, guy. Got to go out with a bang all the time, right? You know, he's driven this truck literally forever, right? So, no wind leaks, wind noise, no water infiltration. So, you know, if all those little check marks, the little boxes are checked off, I see nothing wrong with keeping on using them. So I stuck this plastic panel on here, and when we're all done, I've got a product that you wipe on black plastic trim, and it's supposed to rejuvenate it. We'll see if it actually does anything, but when we're all said and done, I will do that on here. However, we did that, then I put it outside in the sun for a few hours and let that really mellow out the plastic, and I went back and I rubbed it down, put some pressure on it, really just soften up the plastic, soften up that adhesive tape, and just let it cook for a while, you know, and it's really stuck on good now and looks great. So I'm gonna throw this thing back on. I've also cleaned and re-lubricated with white lithium my two latches, anything that swivels, latches, pivots, whatever, what have you. It's fresh and clean. It has new lithium on it. So we're gonna see if I can do this myself. I sure can't see anything. Alright. cable on just in case I lose it. Leg is cramping up. Okay. All right. All the shims and bushings and rubber bumpers and everything has been cleaned and is back on. Okay. Obviously, I still have it matched, but I'm going to put the bolt in, get it secure, and then we will move on. Alright, well, I have hand sanded it with a more rigid block, foam block with 1000 grit, just because I find it cuts better when we're dealing with dry clear coat. So I've gone over the entire bed with that, and then I've gone over the entire bed with 1000 grit on the DA wet, just to mellow it out, you know, ease everything out and get rid of any fine scratches that the hand sanding left. And now I'm going over everything with the 3000 grit on there, and that should set us up really well for buffing this thing out. So I'm going to keep doing it. Got to do it to the entire pickup, but we want her to shine. You guys may recall the little small town body shop I went back and forth to several times during the last year, and I was rewiring that old green and purple Chevy pickup. Well, that guy's kind of getting rid of everything, selling everything off. His building has already sold. Great place for a seam in the cement, huh? Anyway, he had so much stuff that I wish I would be able to buy, just pay cash for, but I can't be doing that, so I bought this lift knowing I would need it for this very purpose. So here we are. He really wanted to sell me his rotisserie, and I really wanted to buy it, but the guy wants kind of top dollar for all his used equipment, which by all means, get what you can for it. I just can't be the guy to pay for it. So why are you so squeaky? Guys, I apologize. My microphone was turned off for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, basically the gist of you got to see it anyway. The gist of it is there was much fear and trepidation on the first video when I just tore everything out. The tracks, the regulator, the handles, the latches, the wiring. There seemed to be a lot of doubt that a guy could get it all back together again, and this is actually very simple. Everything is made to go exactly in one place. Even your regulator system, the holes are where they are. You have some option probably with different manual windows, power windows, these keyholes, but you have some longer bolts here too in the regulator on one side. So basically Wendell, at the factory could throw the regulator in the door, hook it on the right place, and went on down the line, and Nadine could finish putting the bolts in and tighten them down or whatever, however it happened. The tracks, they clip in at the top where it meets the upper door portion, and your holes line up. There is no adjustment. It is what it is. If something is wrong, then something is very wrong, and you would have to fix it. As far as the wiring, you probably have a phone. You probably have a Polaroid camera. I don't know. Draw a sketch. Chisel it on stone if you have to, and just take a shot of where the wiring is, and later, if you have any questions, look it up. But I just threw everything back in, even before we have the glass. I'm going to go clean the glass. I'm going to put our rubber in, and then we're going to throw that in. But first I'm going to lower the mechanism here. What did I do with the switch? Okay, I'm going to lower this all the way down. There she is. Okay, not all the way down. Just so I can get to the hook points. Alright, reinstall our seal, whatever we call it. Now our glass, I'm going to do this from the inside, and I'm going to start at the front where it's narrow. Just keep going down on an angle. Dead batteries aside, everything is working. I will probably go through and make sure, we'll get some silicone sprayed in there, just make sure everything's moving like it should. Otherwise, that's that. temporarily remove the grill again. I wanted to go back over this. Just kind of struggling with Griot's system. I'm sure it's operator error, not being patient enough with it or whatever. Anyway, I picked up some Meguiar's. They're heavy duty stuff, Pro Speed compound, and that's cutting it quicker. I was using Griot's fast correcting cream, but for whatever reason it's just not fast enough for me. So cutting this out again, I'm gonna go over the entire truck, and then I will follow that with some polishing, some finer stuff, and then I will call it good. You can also tell that yesterday, well, over the last couple days, my sons and I, we put the bed liner in, we put the tonneau cover in, we put the toolbox back in. That is packed full again of all the tools, his chains, his ratchet straps, his gas can, his sledgehammers, everything that was on that wooden shelf back there that goes in the bed is back in there. I'm looking forward to being able to move that shelf out of the way again. I, of course, put it there leading up to the auction here. I had to get it out of that part of the shop, and now I'm really looking forward to putting it back out there. We have a 40 Chevy pickup out there that has got to come apart very, very soon, and that shelf is slated for that task. So we got to get this old Dodge gone. There is a big difference in feel between the Meguiar's and the Griot's fast correcting cream. I can't distinguish any grit in this stuff, and I definitely can in the Meguiar's. So if you're having a little bit of problems like me cutting through fine sanding marks, maybe I don't want to. I mean, this is a good professional system. I don't want to knock it. I don't have the time, is what I'm saying. Careful. Gentle. Okay. Put some of this on there. Just like so. All right, they want that to dry for several hours. So maybe by the end of the day, whoa, I am close to the camera. Maybe by the end of the day, we will try and peel all this off and see what we look like here, huh? both doors, perhaps I'm acting like the anal retentive chef, if you know what I'm talking about there. But I feel like the rear, I'm getting a little too picky, I think is what I'm saying. Our body lines, they're all just a little bit low. Now on the driver's door, my gap up front is very, very close, if not right on, very consistent top to bottom. And we're actually not too bad on the back side either. I guess you'd expect that. But just looking at it, if we could go up another 1/8 of an inch on the back side, all of these lines would match up a little bit better. I have no doubt this is where they were. I know the gaps and the alignment was pretty poor when we took this thing apart. And it had been used for 30 years, you know, which isn't too surprising. So I think my only option, really, if I want to improve that, is I'm going to have to run back home and get some body shims and put them in the bottom hinge on both sides, both doors, and raise this up a little bit. It shouldn't take much to get that into alignment. I think I'll do that before I put our pinstripe on and just get it right, get it done right, and move on. So I'm going to run home and get those. Did it sound like I was going to say more? So I put a 1/16 of an inch. Remember, I wanted to go up an 1/8 of an inch, and that was just my starting point. Clear over there on the hinge side, I knew very little would raise it a lot. So I didn't do trigonometry or anything. I just decided to try a 1/16 of an inch. Put that under each bolt on the bottom hinge. Raise this an 1/8 of an inch. I don't know if the camera can really tell, you know, but everything looks absolutely perfect now. I may need to go in. I think I'm a little too far in on my bottom hinge. I need to cock that out a little bit. I can see I'm sticking up high up top here, so keep fiddling with it till it's right. So just a better shot of what we have going on here on the door. I've got 1/4 inch wide tape, and it does not go in. We're consistent on the front. We're consistent on the back. My lines by measurement, remember I used an upholsterer's tape to measure those originally, and now to lay them back out. And all my body lines are lined up. Got a consistent line along the bottom. We're nice and flush with the front fender. We are nice and almost perfectly flush with the top. But part of this could be at the top here, we have that brand new seal up along the top, and we have a brand new seal in here. So until that gets nice and warm, that may mellow out and go down a little. But otherwise, I am very, very happy. We are looking great. All right, I have my last pinstriping to do, and I gotta say, overall, I give all the credit to that slide-on product, and it looks like there's a website, slideon.com or something. No, application gel or something. When I look at the bottle, I'll tell you again. But thanks to that, you know, I've done some decals, pinstripes, not a whole lot. Whole door stickers, you know, every time we had that to do on service trucks at Dad-in-law's, I would be the one to do that. And there were a lot of times when it just didn't want to cooperate, and this product has taken all the pain and anguish out of that. For as wide as stripes as these are, and for really needing to line them up, it's worked really well. Good product to use. So as you can see, I'm just taking this 1/4 inch tape, and I want my top green line. Basically how it was when I took this thing apart and stripped it down, the top of the light blue line was in line with the paint change here, the paint line. So I want this top green 1/4 inch up against the tape. So that's why I'm using little bits as spacers to get a 1/4 inch gap there. And now when I put my stripe on, I just butt it up against the tape. I've got this nice long desk. A fold-out table would work well too, especially on the bedside ones. I had my son help me on those. Carry them over to the truck and stick them on, because they are long ones. And these actually are made for if you have an extended cab, so you got extra length here too. Applicationgel.com. So I don't know if that means it's not exclusively a Phoenix Graphics product. If it's its own thing and they're just a distributor for that, I don't know. But I'm going to put that on there. It's just a nice watery gel. There's a time in my life that I'd prefer to forget, back in high school, when I ended up working in the kitchen of an old folks home, you know. And this reminds me of preparing. I had to prepare dozens and dozens of cups of water and juice and coffee with thickener gelatin, so the folks wouldn't choke on the liquid, you know. Yum. Spread this out. Alright, so this one's got a curve for the back of the cab, so that's where we're going to start. I'm just going to get her kind of stuck on there. You can pull it backwards. Start buttoning it up against the tape. Squeegee out the extra. It'll leave a little up front, but I'm going to cut most of this off. That. Pull our tape out of there. that's where I'm going to let it dry for a while. Well, the folks down at the Husky Mudguard factory there kind of pulled a dirty trick on me. I mean, it was a number one prank, but anyway, seems as though I got 3 lefts and 1 right mudguard, so that's just not going to work. So, gotta switch gears here. Did that go like that or other way around? I don't know. I better check. Got it backwards, of course. Alright. Get these thrown up there and we'll get our running boards going. Okay. Says this is the driver's side, so I guess I have no choice but to believe it. Are you sure these bolts fit this thing? Well, yeah, they do. Huh. There we go. Oh, that's right. Tell me I didn't do that over there. I did it over there. I asked you not to tell me that. This can't be right. Okay, now we're going to work on our parking lot. Okay, now we're going to work on our parking lot. Slam my door as hard as I possibly can into yours because you parked way too close to me. Certainly not my fault, trim. And don't even think about leaving a note, right? Anyway, we are going to get this installed. I found this online being sold directly specifically for this vehicle. What was on it was this. I'm guessing this is more of your generic J.C. Whitney, stuff. So, and the tolerances that the previous folks applied this with was absolutely atrocious. I mean, there could have been half-inch gaps at the ends, and charge 5 more minutes worth of work and do a better job. Words for me to live by also. But anyway, we are going to try to do a much better job here. I'm kind of going about 1/8 of an inch to the edge, and we don't want to hang over any round corners or anything like that. And then I've got this old school Craftsman finger guillotine tool here. Very sharp. But it is perfect for this. have a gully washer that is quickly escalating to a toad strangler out there. And now I'm getting a call about it. Alright, we'll try this again. I have very, very few things left to do here. Gotta wait till replacement mud guards come in. I'm fixing the plastic on the right side headlight. Something was broken there and I couldn't get it aimed right. Other than that, I need to clean it, probably go over it again with a buffer. There are some spots I don't like, and after applying the stripes and the decals, you know, it kind of, as you put things together, you know how it is. Your beautiful paint job starts to get a little must and cloudy and, you know, anything. Things happen, right? So we'll go over that, but next thing I'm going to do is cavity wax. This is 3M 08852, and then along with that I bought the 851, 08851, and that is a kit of wands. Let's see, we got an 8-inch, a 24, and a 34-inch wand here. I think I'm going to use the 24. Dodge put plenty of plugs down in there, so I should be able to reach everything with that. So we will crawl down in there and try to make a mess of it. I also sprayed this just with this down inside the doors to keep them, you know, they look beautiful on the inside, to be honest, but might as well. We're going to get our floor a little waxy, but I wanted to show you guys what this looks like. Just a fine mist in every direction. Should probably rather set you guys up on a tripod, but here we are. Okay, I think my, well, step bar's in the way. Can't use my arm. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm gonna go. I think we can just use this middle plug here. Start spraying. Ooh, okay. Now we'll switch sides. Now another thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab the 8-inch wand and stick it up. This is the cab corner down here. Stick it up this vent. I don't know if you can see that. This one here. And then I think we have a gap in the very corner. I'll see if I can get it, yeah, right in there. Let's just try it. Oh, the big one. Oh yeah. There we go. I have no control with one hand here, but remember that was all rotten on the other side, and we want to do our best here. I don't want to forget that this portion of this fender was rusted out, if you recall that. On both sides we're going to... Oh yeah. Don't really need to go all the way up, just the bottom foot or so. guys, there you have it. I don't know if we really have anything too amazing or astounding to show to you. You know, for the most part, it looks like it did when it came in. You know, maybe a little brighter, a little fresher, a little shinier, a little cleaner looking with the new Nerf bars, the mud flaps, the new bump trim stuff. You know, I don't know, but the new grill is certainly brighter. The mirrors, but yeah, what do you guys think? It has been an interesting project, to say the least, to work on. It's been fun. I'm glad I could help a guy out. Once again, this belongs to a family friend. He asked me to do it, and there we go. Let me know what you think down in the comments. We have a lot of other stuff lined up that we have got to move on. Got a nice breeze blowing now that we've got to move on to. So we are going to say goodbye. Thanks for watching. God bless. We'll see you on the next one. I'm going to walk around this with you real quick with the camera. Otherwise, we got to get back to work. Thanks again, guys. Bye-bye.